What is up, everybody? It is Zachary Reality, and welcome back to Zachary Reality. We are chatting Claim to Fame Season 3 today with our most recently eliminated contestant, Danny. Danny, I was rooting for you. How are we doing today?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah. I'm so excited to chat with you about the season and the show.
Oh man.
Let's start off with, how did you get on Claim to Fame?
My wife is an avid watcher, so she watched every season. I started on season 2. At the end of season 2, we heard the disclaimer. It was like, "Hey, if you guys want to, reach out and try and get on, shoot your shot," and we did. And look at us now.
Yeah, I almost feel like that's going to be like the new way to cast people is, it's such a big popular show now where it's
Right?
like, if your relative is famous, why not apply?
Why not? You know what I mean? You never know. It's
Yeah.
definitely a blessing though too.
Yeah. Well, how did your uncle Mark feel about you going on the show? Did you talk to him about it, or was this kind of
Well, I
something
wasn't
you
able to
wanted to do?
talk to him. He was already on tour, so he's like so deep into like just tour mode. But before he left, we spoke a little bit, and he was like, just wanted me to be as true as to my honest self I can be, and and people would be attracted to that, as a person being truthful, and hopefully that showed through my gameplay as well. You know what I mean? And I think I played a good game though, even though whatever happened, top 5 can't beat that,
Yeah. No, you can't be that. More than halfway. Do you think
right?
there's any celebrities who wouldn't want their relatives to go on the show? Maybe if they have
Oh
like a
man.
maybe if they have like a toxic relationship with them or a falling out.
I mean, that would probably be even like better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That would make the show juicier. And then like even when the internet sleuths find out, they're like, oh man, this is really getting good.
Yeah, that would have been good. Okay, so you
Right.
get there to Claim to Fame. You have a little bit of knowledge. You've seen it past couple of seasons. Did you
Yeah.
go in there with a certain strategy? How badly did you want to win? Or were you kind of just like happy to be there for the experience?
I was elated by just being there alone, the surroundings and like just the whole atmosphere. It was pretty like crazy and like almost an out of body experience. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, it's so surreal. I wanted to throw people off. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to give too much about my ethnicity.
Mm.
And I grew out a mullet, to try to mimic the late, great Dusty Rhodes. So
Mhm.
that kind of threw people away from my heritage and everything like that, and steered people in the direction of my other cousin, Jelly Roll.
Yeah, actually, but not actually.
Not actually.
Yeah. So, who in the house were you the first to kind of pick up and think like, I actually think I know who this is?
That's gonna be a given. Right from the jump, I already had my antennas up for Dedrick.
Mhm.
Dedrick, I think, was probably like I knew I had a clip on him. I just didn't know exactly until I was able to pull it. Once I pulled the clue, it was already automatic. It already
Mhm.
solidified what I was thinking, what everyone was pretty much thinking. We just couldn't really nail it on who it might be.
It felt like everyone kind of knew who he was for a while, especially when
Right.
that Mr. Jackson comment happened so early in the season. But do you think people were almost like protecting him because they knew him? So it was kind of like easy?
Yeah, I think that was a part of it, and I think also people wanted to use that at the back burner, in case they did get pulled. So everybody legit pretty much had a, get out of jail free card. You know what I mean? Knowing that, I'm glad it didn't happen that way. You know what I'm saying? Because how everything worked out. Yeah, man, it was just surprising that everybody was on the same page, especially with that.
I kind of feel like the house is a little divided, especially as we get closer to the end with alliances. Who were you closest with and who were you really working with, from beginning to end?
It's crazy because like in the beginning, I tried to start a little something with Adam, and
Mhm.
we wanted to get a little something going, but he decided to go a totally different route, and you know what I mean. And the more power to him. He played this game, the way he could. In the long run, it was me and Shane.
Yeah.
Being my bunk buddy, and whispers in the night and things like that, and just trying to hit the head on the nail. I got to pull it on Shane, man. Yeah, being the one to go to.
Yeah. It felt like you guys were really close, and it felt like you guys were close with Dedrick too, maybe as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Shane now he's in the game, but it seems like the rest of them are in an alliance except for him. What kind of advice would you have for him, or do you think alliances don't matter when you get to the final, few?
I think once you get to like that final 5, it's like every man for himself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like I have what I have. I'm gonna do what I have to do at this point. I am super nervous for Shane, but I think he has enough influence. I think Shane still has enough influence in the game to be able to pull a rabbit out the hat and maybe have somebody, at least one, you know, pull in his direction.
I want to ask you about Adam. He was pretty controversial and erratic this season. A lot of people were getting pissed off by him, ruffling
Right.
feathers. What was it like being in the house with him?
I mean, like Adam's a joy to be around. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy. He likes to play around. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to playing the game, he had a certain way of playing it that was definitely rubbing everybody the wrong way. You know what I mean? But more power to him. You know, maybe that's his game plan, to just get under people's skin, to make people try and gun for him, because he knows nobody probably knows his. From what we have already, it's still hard. It's still just a toss up. You know what I'm saying? It's still rough to say.
Did you know who HUD or Adam or Mackenzie were related to, or even Shane before you left?
Shane, I kind of had a hit on, but I didn't really want to go for Shane, being that, you know, we was trying to work so hard against certain people. When it came to Mac, I didn't know anything. I literally thought her relative was Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's so far fetched. You know what I mean? Because the way you can just grab clues, and it makes you lose your mind almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like it becomes a trance. But I definitely didn't. Not even HUD, man. HUD was probably the last one that I really even tried to think of, because I knew it was like something in country because of all the country clues, but I really didn't know anything. Well, coming down to it, I just didn't know enough about country music.
Yeah. Now, you were voted to be the guesser in the final two in the last episode. Were you trying to campaign not to be the guesser, or did you not care if you were it?
No, I didn't want to campaign and do everything like the way people were doing, running around the house like a chicken without their heads. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to avoid that, you know? So I was like, you know what? Shane's been getting pulled every week almost. So I was like, you know, let me take this shot. We have a good idea on what we've been talking about and working on. And I felt like we pulled the trigger on a good chance. You know what I'm saying? I don't regret the choice that we made. I still think that it was a good gameplay and a good pull. Unfortunately, it's not my boy BS, Blake. Got by an inch, only by an inch. We missed it, but yeah, I think I still played pretty good.
Mackenzie's good. She's the last female standing. She's really
Right?
good at working in the room and all the guys in and out.
Definitely,
Like,
absolutely.
when she comes in, she has ready to Steve, and
That's the
she's good
sleeper
with a
cell right
smile.
there.
Yeah. Who else were you gonna pull, or was Mackenzie your number one? Did you think about anything else?
Wanted to pull Adam as as much as I could. I just didn't
Again.
have the time to break down his whole clue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? You only have a certain amount of time to try and crack a code, and it's like, you know what? Let's just go with the sure thing. If it doesn't happen, we played it right. We did it good. We did the best that we could. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even be mad at it.
Fair enough.
Right.
What was your favorite challenge on the show?
All of them were pretty dope. I mean, obviously telephone, because a little, but I think the connections was pretty cool too. You know what I mean? Like having to make the connections and knowing the people and putting the here to that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm always curious about the confessionals, the interviews people do. How was that for you? Like, did you have fun releasing everything, and was that your diary room?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to make it as, what's the word? Like you want to make it fun, so everybody can be drawn in, and little quips here and there, mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? I want to become a meme of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, that's the goal when you're in there. Like,
right. This is gonna be the one.
Yeah.
And just for everybody watching, I don't want everybody to be all like, oh, I'm a sleuth. I have to just I want somebody to laugh every once in a while, even though they're doing serious detective work.
Yeah, it's still a funny show. Right. It's very competitive, and it's going to get intense in the last couple of episodes.
Absolutely.
What do you think we can expect?
I don't know what's going to happen right now. I haven't gotten any words, but it's definitely going to get splashy. There's always a twist. This season's been very twisty.
Okay, and we know you're rooting for Shane.
Right. Let's go.
Okay, I think I'm rooting for Mackenzie, to be honest.
That's a good pick too. She's doing her thing.
But I wouldn't be mad if HUD won either, because he's been pretty low key, and now he's getting up there. I just
right. He's definitely turned the game on later on in the season. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't want Adam to win. I can't wait to see him get out.
I hear that though.
All right, last question. What was your biggest takeaway from the show?
Oh man, just the people. The set, like I said, it was just the beautiful vibe of just these strangers coming together to play this game and just coexist. And it's just like a movie, man. It's pretty crazy. That's probably the best takeaway I get from it, besides the view.
I love it. Right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Danny. Where can everybody follow you and check you out?
Everybody can check me out at my Instagram. You can find me at Nael Zayas or Mr. Spontaneous. I have a link tree through there, so you can just bust them out.